After having suspense for the last 24 hours, it's time to hear our answer from yesterday's Tanya. How is it in the Messianic reality, in the days of Geula, of Mashiach, that we're going to be able to handle Gilui Atmos, a revelation of God's essence, something that not even the higher world can handle? Like, how are we going to be able to have that? It's because God gave us Torah, and Torah is called Oz, its might and its strength. It acts as the garment that allows us to receive such an intense divine experience without being overwhelmed by it. Remember, at the giving of the Torah, our souls just kept on passing out. We just kept on going up to the higher worlds. We couldn't handle such an intense revelation. And through giving us the Torah, God gave us the spiritual armor, the spiritual garments. In the days of Mashiach, we're going to be able to handle such an intense revelation of Gilui Atzmas, the revelation of God's essence, which is a paradox within itself, because if it's the essence, it's the essence, and if it's a revelation, it's not the essence. But really just like the real deal, right? God himself. And how we're going to be able to handle that? Through the Oz, the strength of Torah. God gives Tzaddikim the strength to receive their reward in the world to come. So this is talking about V'mei Kulam Tzaddikim, right? Our entire nation is righteous. And the world to come is talking about Mashiach. So why is it necessary to give us strength? Wait, why do I need strength to receive reward? Just give me the reward. It's so that our existence should not just dissolve into this endless light. Therefore, we need this garment. We need the garment of Torah to allow us to actually enjoy. Because if I'm just going to be absorbed into God's light, then I'm not going to have the consciousness that I have now of this separate identity to actually appreciate God's light, because I'm just going to be in it. And so really the paradox is I'm going to be me, right? This lower consciousness of self experiencing how there is no self and it's all one, right? So fuse those two realities, okay? It's going to be Das Tachnon meets Das Elyon. It's me as my own independent self as I still exist as an I, and yet I experience how my I is part of God's true I. And for that we need Oz. For that we need the strength of Torah to be able to handle this intense divine experience. So Mashiach equals total godly revelation. God himself. Buckle up, okay? It's about to get real. So it says in the days of Mashiach, and your teacher will no longer hide from you, meaning he will no longer conceal himself from you with the edge of a robe or a garment. No more layers of concealment, no more garments. And your eyes will behold your teacher, right? So we're going to learn from Hashem directly. Meaning whenever we learn from anyone, we're learning from Hashem. Life's experiences are Hashem teaching us. But there's no longer going to be garments. We're going to be experiencing complete, total divine revelation. We're going to be experiencing God himself. Continuing with a quote here. For they shall see eye to eye. Meaning that the human eye will see as the divine eye sees. We'll see clearly the revelation of God's light. Think about that for a moment. From God's perspective, there's not us and him. It's just him. We're part of him. And from my perspective, there's definitely me and maybe God exists. But the human eye, meaning I'm still going to exist as a physical, independent, seemingly entity, this physical eye is going to see as God sees. We're going to perceive ourselves to be part of God. We are going to feel ourselves to be part of God's endless light. It is written, the sun shall no longer be your light by day, for God will be your eternal light. The only revelation, the only source of light in our life is going to be God himself. Meaning now the sun acts as God's expression of light in our life. But there's no longer going to be anything other than God in our consciousness. The very thing that's going to light up our life in the most physical sense is Hashem. We're going to perceive it as God perceives it, as Einol Mevodo, as there's nothing but him. If this is sounding really far out, great. Because this is something unparalleled to what we've ever experienced. It is known that in the Messianic era, especially the period after the resurrection of the dead, Tiyas HaMesim, is indeed the ultimate purpose and the fulfillment of creation of this world, right? That's when it really becomes a home for Hashem in this world. It's for this purpose that this world was originally created. So at first glance, it seems strange that the Messianic reality is the purpose of creation. Maybe it's like the reward for man's efforts, but how could it be the reward and the purpose? Seemingly they would be two different things. Because the idea of Mashiach is Einol Mevodo. There's nothing but him. We are living with this reality of it's us and of really experiencing ourselves to be part of Hashem. And this was the entire purpose. Hashem wants to dwell in the place of the greatest concealment, in this place where it looks like we don't see Hashem at all, to then have gone into the space where we know that there's nothing but him. And so that is the reward for our effort. What's our effort is in our challenges, in our darkness, in our day-to-day grind, taking the time and effort to really see God in our life. And so that's the purpose of creation, to really see Hashem in our life. And so the purpose and the reward is this full, undeniable, godly expression of Ein Olam Avodo, of we're part of God and there's nothing else. Thank you for taking the time to explore today's Tanya together.